Yes, they already started it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Tuckfield. The time is 6:30. Today is August the 4th, and I'm calling this regularly. Actually, I do need this. This regularly scheduled. Yes, is this better now? Or this is. This mic is acting peculiarly this evening. I'm going to repeat that then. My name is Aaron Tuckfield. The time is 6:30. I am the chairman of the Macomb Township Zoning Board of Appeals, and I'm calling this August 4th regularly scheduled meeting to order. That is the first item on our agenda. The second item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could stand with me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. That takes us on to item 3, which is the roll call. Ms. Lawson, could you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Starting with member DeCoster,
Here.
member DeBruin,
Here.
member Piper,
Here.
Chairman Tuckfield,
Here.
member Slauson, all members are present.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Item 4 on our agenda is to address any conflicts of interest. At this time, we're going to call the roll, and if any members have a conflict of interest on any of the items, please signify by saying yes. And if you do not have any conflicts, please signify by saying no. Ms. Lawson, please call the roll.
Okay, I'll start with myself. Slauson, no. Chairman Tuckfield,
No.
member Piper,
No.
member DeBruin,
No.
member DeCoster.
No. Very good. That moves us on to the approval of tonight's agenda. Item 5, is there any discussion or motions on this item?
Chairman, I'll move to accept the agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Piper, supported by Mr. DeBruin. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying nay. That motion carries. That moves us to item 6, which is the approval of the previous meeting minutes. I'd just like to note for the record that staff had sent me an email with regards to our minutes earlier in the month. I did not see the question until considerably later. So it was a question on the wording of one of our motions. Before the meeting, Mr. DeBruin and I pulled up the audio. We listened to it. There was some question on to how the motion was worded. There is some changes that me and Mr. DeBruin talked about that should be made on that particular motion. I believe Mr. Aloya had some specific wording he wanted to make sure we had. Mr. Aloya, for your memory, it was the half wall variance that we looked at. So you had some specific on that. So we listened to it. We did make some verbal changes. I don't know if it's appropriate or allowable to approve it contingent on that being matched up to the audio, or if we need to state the changes specifically.
I would like to, can we state the changes? Are we prepared to do that specifically, or do you think that we need to just direct them to match the exact motion to the audio? Are you more?
I thought was if we could direct it to, and if you could pull your mic down, I can hear you, but I'm not sure if you're.
Apologize.
I believe that there was elections in here over the week, and some of our equipment is
Yes. Yeah, I think as long as we can direct the staff to match the minutes to the exact audio of the motion, that should be sufficient. If you have the language with you.
We listened to it. The audio is rough, and I was playing it off my computer speakers. Mr. DeBruin, you can back me up on this, but I believe roughly what you said was that, and Mr. DeBruin agreed with this and made it part of his motion, that a reasonable mind could determine that it was not a fully enclosed structure, and the homeowner, when reading the ordinance, would not have applied it to his situation.
Yes.
So roughly that was what was said. If the clerk's office or the planning department can.
It might have said it relied on it in this situation, but it is just.
Okay, very good. And obviously we would want to change it to the audio as much as possible, but I believe that was the general thrust of what the motion was.
We'll check the audio and note that.
Okay, very good. I think your microphone might be also.
Better?
That's better.
We got these pucks in front of us. I didn't want to do feedback or anything.
Thank you, Mr. Skirdo. All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the suggested changes, and possibly having make sure it goes back by Mr. Aloya to make sure it does line up with how he had stated it at that meeting.
I'm comfortable with that.
I would make the motion to approve the minutes, minutes, approve the minutes contingent upon the changes we just discussed right now.
Support.
All right, motion by Mr. DeBruin, support by Ms. Lawson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying nay. That motion carries, and I just want to throw out my apologies to the person in the planning department for responding to that email so late. That was my issue, and I'll fess up to it. That takes us on to item 7, which is old business. The first item on this is 7A, a variance request from the zoning ordinance for Tri-County golf carts at 51703 Milano Drive. This is permanent parcel 0H184540001, and the request is from section 10.2106D, a request to allow a reduction in the front yard setback from 60 feet to 47 feet. Mr. Skirdo, I'm not sure if you're taking us through this or Melissa, but
Take it through
all right,
one, okay?
go ahead, Mr. Skirdo.
Yeah, the applicant has a business, Milano Drive. It's probably everyone here knows. It's on off of 23 Mile, east of Hayes, north of 23. The applicant requests a variance to allow golf carts to be displayed 47 feet from the center line of Milano Drive. 60 feet is required by ordinance. Simultaneously, the applicant is seeking a special land use for allowing the outdoor display of golf carts in the front yard from the Planning Commission on August 9th, which would be next Tuesday. Okay. There's you can see the aerial photo. To the right of the building is the front yard where they'd like to display the golf carts. Okay. Here's findings of the different departments. Assessing had no objections. Engineers have pointed out the setback reduction appears to be requested solely for golf cart storage display only. We wanted to make sure that what was the sole reason for this. If their reduction is approved, they recommend approval. Condition on grounds that no structures or building additions can be built in the new reduced setback. Other than that, they have no generally related engineering concerns. Planning unique conditions that could be applied to the site for granting a variance were not able to be identified. The applicant is here and is allowed to present additional information regarding the hardship and why there is a hardship. Public Works had no comment on this. Planners, in summary from our planning team, it does not appear there are any health safety concerns with the proposal. We do ask the applicant, as pointed out, to identify a hardship. It appears to be self-created. Limited space could be remedied by renting another location. However, that is, I don't know the reasonableness of that, but it is an option. If the variance is granted, we ask that the following conditions be placed. Setback reduction be only for golf cart display and not for permanent structures or temporary structures, if I can add to that. And also condition that special land use is granted by the Planning Commission. Is that the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's that's the end of our presentation.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Skirdo?
My question might be for Mr. Aloya. Make sure we're not putting the cart before the horse. So if we grant this variance.
Second, Dave, is his mic broadcasting out? I'm being paranoid now, but
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I just want to make sure that we're not putting the cart before the horse. Grant this variance. So does that affect the Planning Commission for the special land use on this?
Well, we're approving this variance on the condition that the special land use is granted.
So with that condition, we're all right.
Correct. And the one thing that I think an additional condition should be is so long as the association continues to permit this. So the variance, the issue that you have here is that this is not his property. And I think we'll get into the documents and find he's got what he needs, but condition on their condition.
very good. Thank you, Mr. Piper. Thank you, Mr. Aloya. Mr. Skirdo, I did just want to follow up on that. I know we've talked about this before, and maybe we've had a couple of different variations, I suppose, of this, whether or not and when it's proper to attach a requirement based on the Planning Commission and maybe quasi give the Planning Commission the ability to veto a variance, if you will. Are you comfortable with that language attached to this variance?
Since I'm comfortable, you're not giving the Planning Commission is not able to veto a variance. A variance runs with the land. Once this is in place, they cannot veto that. They have to play within the rule that a variance has been granted. As they do the special land use, they can go through and not grant the special land use and the variance, everything disappears at that point because they didn't even get permission to do the front yard storage.
But you are comfortable with that being attached to it?
In this case, it's not a big complicated issue. It's a really minor issue. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it.
Not trying to put you on the spot, just want to make sure. Stop sign. All right, very good. Any other questions? Hearing none, I would ask the petitioner to come up, state their name and address for the record and give any comments they might have. And sir, if you want, you're welcome to stand there, although if we have any comment, public comment, I generally send there. If you want to sit down at the table, that probably. I say that, but hang on,
Phil, we were asked today to have everybody stand at the podium.
because of the recording.
My first time here, so I don't want to step.
Yeah, we have new audio visual, as you can see, so.
Yep, so we're all having a problem with the mic.